We've made a decision and we're eloping. If you're new here, hello, my name is Amanda and I just recently got engaged in October. We weren't sure what we were going to be doing for our wedding, but we officially have made the decision. We are eloping. And not only are we eloping, we are eloping in Florence, Italy. How did we get here? How did we make the decision? How long were we sitting on this? Let's talk about it. And if there's anybody out there who is undecided or is unsure what they should be doing, I'm gonna share mine and hopefully it helps you make a decision of what you want to do. My mom, her whole life has always said, do a destination wedding or elope, and I've just had that narrative in my head. Anytime we had talked about weddings previously, elopement was brought up as a part of the conversation and something we were interested in doing. But we also talked about weddings a lot in a traditional sense. So I was never 100% sure, but it wasn't like we had never discussed this before. So that is a little bit of background just to understand like how we were so open to this conversation off the bat. It definitely helped when it came to the brainstorming and the decision-making part of the process. One way how we got here was actually through a process I made Kane and I do. We sat down and we went over questions that you should ask each other like before a wedding. I found it online. And the good news is Kane and I's answers pretty much aligned on everything, which was great. One of them asked what like your top 3 priorities were. When Kane and I looked at each other's answers, we had both said each other as number 1, and that being the most important. And when I saw that, that pretty much confirmed for me that an elopement was right for us. I love the idea of a traditional wedding. I am not shitting on it whatsoever. I think it's so fun. It's such a special moment to have like everybody you love in a room celebrating you and your partner, and you get to just share and feel all of that love. But I also know what happens at traditional weddings where you get pulled left, right, and center, and there's so much stress and all of these things. And I just pushed away from that a little bit. And when I saw that we said each other, I was like, the best way to do that is to just have it be us. And the whole day gets to be us and we get to do what we want. And that sounds so much fun. Post doing that, we wrote down our 4 possible options of what our wedding options were. And then we ranked them. Option 1 was just elope. Option 2 was elope with a small party. Not really a reception because a lot of the traditional aspects would be taken out, but still like a small get together another day post elopement. Destination wedding, number 3, and then number 4 was just a traditional wedding. So after we looked at our answers, we did decide on elopement with a small party. We have so many friends and family who are important to us, and we didn't necessarily want to lose that part of the traditional wedding. As I shared, I think that part of it is so special and fun, but there's just so much chaos that comes with a formal wedding day and a traditional wedding. This was a way for us to still make the wedding us and prioritize us, and then another day we get everyone together and we have a big party. It's gonna be really good. I decided I'm gonna record our ceremony just even on my phone. I don't care, I'll figure it out. And I'll show it for everybody there, which I think will be a fun way to include them without them actually getting to be there. I'm also calling it the happily ever after party, so that's the vibe, that's the name. One of the other big reasons, very transparently, how we got here was money. Again, I'm not saying it's not worth spending 20, 30 grand on a wedding day. Everybody's situation is different. The help you're getting is different. Your finances are different. Your life is different. There is no right or wrong. It's just what makes sense for you. And for us, we didn't really have the money, transparently. And we have some other goals and things we want to do for us. We'd love to own a home one day. We're still in an apartment. I'm not like rushing hard on that. But if we had a traditional wedding that cost us 25, 30 grand, it would set us back a decent amount of years before we were able to do that. We just kind of looked at where we are in life. We looked at what our priorities are and what we could afford. And ultimately we decided we couldn't afford a big wedding. Maybe if I had all the money, I would do that. But there's a larger part of me that still says like the elopement just feels right. And it feels like what I want to do. And in my head, I'm like, I get the best of both worlds right now. I get to have the elopement I want, and then I also get to celebrate with friends at another day. Those are the most important things. So I'm accomplishing both. I'm just doing it in a structure that works for me, because that's the thing about weddings. You don't have to do it in the way they tell you to do it. Even though it's tempting, it is, because you see all the beautiful curated Instagram videos and TikToks and all the beautiful things and you're like, oh my gosh, I want that. Trust me, I get it. I went through this too. But ultimately, you gotta do what's best for you. And if that's a traditional wedding, great. I love that for you. And if it's not, and you're eloping like us, amazing. dressing. I love that for you just as equally. Money was a big reason. We made that decision for us. We would rather take that money, not all of that money. I can't afford all that money. And we would rather spend it on a trip, an elopement, and a honeymoon, kind of all in one, right? Because that's the thing, the rest of the trip's gonna be our honeymoon. So that was just more worth it to us based on our priorities and what we care about and what matters to us. We're very excited. We're still trying to keep it within a reasonable amount. We're trying to work under 10K. It's been a bit of a challenge. I won't lie to you because weddings are expensive, but also we're choosing to elope in Florence. So we brought some of this on ourselves and I can admit that. If I end up doing so, perhaps I will touch base on it, but I'm just a girl like everybody else trying to figure out how I'm gonna do this. So I'm in the same boat as you probably, unless you've already done it and you have advice, let me know. I kind of already touched on it, but those were honestly the only two things that we needed. If we do this, we can absolutely confirm that the day is going to be about us and we get such quality one-on-one time together and we get to really just be romantic and really just take in that it's us and we're married and have all the fun, and we get to be in beautiful Europe, in Florence, Italy when we do it, which is just I'm so excited. The money, it's being like, yep, that financially makes more sense for us and we'd rather spend our money doing that. Yeah, it just felt right for us, and that's really all I needed. Once we knew that, I was like, great. I still did some research into like things we could do here, but ultimately it kind of worked out. And another reason why we decided to do it was just it felt a little bit like fate and fell into our lap a bit because we were already planning on going to Italy next year, so that was already on our radar. And one of my good friends is a wedding photographer, and she was already going to Italy for an elopement around the same time we were planning on going to Italy. That was also another reason. Lastly, I've seen how stressful weddings are for my friends. When I entertained us potentially doing different paths, I felt super stressed then. I love to plan. I'm a planner. I love to plan trips. I love to plan events. I love to plan things. It's like I get such joy and fulfillment out of it. But for this, I started to feel what the brides talk about, that overwhelming stress. And that was only like a couple weeks into research of potential options of what we could do. Because like I said, I kind of looked into all 4 different options just to see, but knowing deep down, we were probably going to pick elopement and small get together post elopement. I just didn't really know if I wanted the whole stress thing for me. Transparently, I wasn't really budgeting for a wedding coordinator or planner or anything like that. So it's not the reason, but I'm gonna say a perk into the elopement is that it takes so much planning stress off because I'm mainly just planning for him and I. I mean, there's still stress that comes with that. When the world becomes your oyster, it becomes real hard to pick things. So I've had overwhelm there and lots of research, lots of ins and outs. I definitely have nights where I'm like, a couple days off from wedding stuff, you need a mental break, don't burn yourself out, but it's just so easy for me to get into a wormhole, and I can only do that so much before I start to feel overwhelmed. Just a little forewarning, if you're planning an elopement, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's stress-free, but it does mean the amount of things you have to worry about majorly decreases. We're still planning that party, so there are some things that come with that, but as I mentioned, we're really scaling back what that looks like for us and for our guests, so that also eases a lot of stress as well, because we're just gonna make it what makes sense for us. And I feel like you have seen it throughout this entire video, but when we finally made that decision, like, yes, we're eloping, I was like through the ceiling. I was so excited. He was so excited. And I think that's also just another testament to how you know you're making the right call. Of course, I had the debate of, oh my God, if I pick this, if I choose to elope, am I gonna regret this? Thankfully, so far, the answer is no. There hasn't been one moment in this planning so far since I started planning that I've questioned the decision. Before we made the decision, yes, I was going back and forth a little bit, but I feel so good about it. I get so excited talking about it. It's so fun looking into it. I'm so excited we get to create new memories on a trip abroad in Florence, and then we get to go and do a honeymoon. It's more excitement, and I feel so good about it. It just felt right. I can't speak for everybody, but if you're humming and hawing the same way I was about if you should elope or if you should have a traditional wedding, look at all the things that are important to you. Maybe do the same thing I did. Write down a list of what's important to you. Maybe it'll help you make a decision. But I think if you're considering an elopement, I just don't know if you'll regret it. If you're already mentally there, you know what I mean? Like if you hadn't ever considered it, I would say that's a bit different. But if you've already thought about it and you've spent time and you're like, that kind of makes sense for me. I feel like I would enjoy that. Then I don't think you're gonna regret it. And just, you can make it whatever. Do what I'm doing. Have a small get together after so you get the best of both worlds without all the stress and the tradition and the formality. Make it yours. I say do it, but I'm also biased because I'm doing it. So do what's right for you. See what's right for you. And either way, you're gonna have the best night and you're gonna have the best day. You're marrying the love of your life. That's what matters. I hope this brought you some clarity. I hope maybe it sparked some ideas in you, or that, if you're humming and hawing, you might feel a little bit better about where you're at. If you're thinking about eloping, comment. If you just want to chat, comment. If you did elope, you loved it, or maybe you didn't love it, feel free to comment. Same with traditional weddings. Like, I'm open to any chats. I am very excited about our elopement. We know the location. We have kind of our after party place picked, our photographer picked. Right now, I'm still trying to finalize where our ceremony will be and officiants, like all that little jazz information, all the little details in between. Thank you so much for watching. And if you liked this video, and maybe give me a little click subscribe-y, I won't be mad about it. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.